Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back. So now it's part 2 on the 370Z Nismo. Now it's time to remove the rust spots, contamination, fallout that's sitting on the surface of the vehicle that is making the paint feel rough. Once it is all decontaminated, we're gonna go ahead and enhance the shine and protection using white light and white wax. You guys might say, why aren't you going with the ceramic? But in this video, we're gonna go ahead and dedicate this video to everybody that does not have access to a polisher and wants to do everything by hand. So let's get started. So now we're gonna go ahead and inspect the paint. And whenever you're working on any color vehicle, white, black, green, yellow, any color vehicle, you could always go and do the hand method to check how contaminated the surface of your vehicle is. If you go and rub your hand on the paint and it sounds very grimy, very abrasive, you might want to go ahead and clay the surface of the vehicle. So I'll get my hand and you guys just hear how contaminated it is. Just by simply rubbing my fingers back and forth, you hear that harsh grind. But if you actually look even closer, you come close, you see all these little rust spots that are living on the paint. All of those little rust spots have made their way into the paint, which is causing a yellowish look to this white Nismo. In order to remove it, you'll need a clay bar. So the clay bar I'll be using today is going to be the medium duty clay bar. I already went ahead and tried the blue and yellow clay bar in the back, and it honestly did not do anything to it. So this is why I'll be bumping up to the medium duty clay bar. So before I use it, I'll put it into a little ball, and then after I'll slam it to make a little pancake. And I'll use that much. I'll get a 3-finger width, and then I'll be using clay luber. A lot of people always comment, can I use water with my clay bar? And that is no, you cannot use water with your clay bar because it will actually deteriorate the clay bar, it'll start falling apart, and water is heavy. So keep that in mind. Whenever you're dragging your clay bar and water is heavy, you're dragging it, you're causing either marring or either scratches and swirls. So this is why I recommend using a designated lubricant. So it just allows the clay bar just to slide around the whole entire vehicle without scratching it. So what you want to do is give it a couple sprays. Be generous with the clay luber, don't be stingy. The more lube, the better, because if you have a dry spot, you might drag it, and whenever you drag it into that dry spot, you will pick up the grime and scratch it around the whole entire vehicle. So you already start seeing that the clay luber starts turning this greenish, brownish color. That is all the contamination that is coming out. And whenever you're using clay bar, you'll start feeling that the clay bar dragging on the surface, but over time it just gets smoother and smoother and smoother. So I flip over my clay bar, you guys can see how contaminated this surface of the vehicle is. That is all contamination. So before I give it another pass, get it and remold it. Now that it's remolded, I'll go ahead and put it back on my 3 fingers, spray it once again, spray my clay luber, and then just glide it over. What I like to describe clay bar is a face wash. Whenever you clean your face, you're decontaminating the pores of your skin. Same exact thing as a paint. All of this contamination that's on the surface of the paint is deceiving the look. Same exact thing when you're doing a face wash. You want to get everything out before applying anything onto your face. If not, you're just gonna be stacking it. So I'll put my clay bar down. You guys can see how contaminated it is. Put it down over here real quick. And I'll get a clean microfiber towel just to wipe in one direction, just so I can inspect the paint. I'll wipe in one direction. So I just gave it like about a minute of the clay bar on the surface. So now let me just check it real quick. I don't hear the graspiness on the paint. You guys hear that? Not so much. But now I still see that there's little specks behind it. This is whenever you go ahead and inspect your paint and you start to notice, do I need to go back to that section and redo it? If you do see specks, we recommend going back, giving a second pass, just to ensure you get everything out. So get my clay bar. And just by claying the surface of a white car, you start bringing out the shine. So go back and forth. And you never want to go in circles, because if you go in circles, same exact thing as the wash method. If you go in circles, you might pick up something on your clay bar. You'll be dragging it around the whole entire vehicle, and then you'll cause scratches and swirls. So let me just show you guys something. I'll spray my clay luber. The clay luber does not turn green anymore. That's because it's not contaminated anymore. So now the paint is smooth as glass. It is not contaminated. Now I could go ahead and polish out the surface of the vehicle. But just like I told you guys, I'm dedicating this video to everybody that does not have a polisher and has to do everything by hand. So I'll go ahead and clay this whole entire section of the hood, and then I'll get back to you guys to apply white light. Let's get to it. So now the paint is completely decontaminated. If I rub my fingers on it, it's smooth as glass. It is not sounding rough like this side. Before applying a glaze, if your paint does sound like this, do not apply it, because what ends up happening, you're gonna put the layer of glaze on top, which some glazes have sealants such as white light, and then you're gonna be sealing in all that contamination into your pores of your paint, and then over time it will fail. So do the proper steps and you'll get the proper bond, proper protection, proper shine. So the product today I'll be using is gonna be white light. The reason why I'm picking white light is because I'm dedicating this video to anybody that does not have a polisher and still wants that amazing shine and glow on their vehicle. White light has fillers and a sealant in it. What does that mean? So any imperfections in your paint, such as micro scratches, it's actually gonna go and fill it in while giving it a very nice protection with the sealant it has. So before using it, shake up the product. And white light does not just only work on white colored cars. It works amazing on all light colored cars. Then I'll apply 2 lines. And these 2 lines is gonna go ahead and give me more than enough product to cover the whole entire half of this hood. Whenever applying it, spread it out. So now I'll go ahead and rub my white light all the way down. I like working from top to bottom. The reason behind it is because once I get to the bottom, I come halfway and I go back up. And like that, I am overlapping the previous pass I made. That ensures I get a proper coverage around the whole entire vehicle. If you do not want to do this method, we also recommend doing the cross hatching method when you rub it one direction, then after you rub it the opposite direction so you get a proper coverage. So I just finished applying white light to the surface of the vehicle. Now I'm actually gonna let it sit for 15 minutes so I can get a proper bond. Once the 15 minutes are up, I'm gonna come back with a soft microfiber towel, remove it from the surface of the vehicle. Then after that, I'm actually not gonna touch the surface of the vehicle for 30 minutes. Once the 30 minutes are up, I'm gonna move on to white wax. So now it's time to apply white wax. White wax is going to take any light colored car to the next level. If you wanna achieve the highest shine, use white wax. White wax comes in this jar. All you need to do is get a microfiber applicator or a foam applicator, get a little bit onto your applicator like so. And once it's already on your applicator, you're gonna apply it the same exact way as a wax. But if you notice, the white wax pops a lot more than white light and any other waxes. The reason behind it is because it actually has synthetic sealant technology in it that's gonna protect your vehicle from any harsh elements, while also mixing in natural carnauba waxes so you get the maximum shine as possible. You rub it inside of side, never go in circular motions, because if you do, you might cause a scratch and swirl. Just like so. Apply it around the whole entire vehicle. In this occasion, I'm only doing half the hood. Once it has been applied on there, I'm gonna let it sit for 5 to 10 minutes, and then I'm gonna come back and remove it and reveal the amazing shine that white light and white wax did to this Nismo. So I just finished applying white wax and I removed it. You guys saw the amount of shine it brought out to this vehicle. Now it's time for me to do the rest of the vehicle, but it's also time for you to do your vehicle. So in the meantime, hit that like button, subscribe, comment down below what type of video you want to see, and we'll see you guys next time right here at the Chemical Guys Detail Garage.